Indian government as well.
Oh,
But before you come in, Aman, I'm really sorry. I'm getting some breaking updates coming in. Brigadier General Ahmad Vahidi is the new commander-in-chief of the IRGC. This has just come in. Remember, the Iranian state has confirmed that Khamenei has been eliminated. They've talked about a 40-day mourning period. But already a new leadership for the IRGC, Brigadier General Ahmad Vahidi, has been announced. So clearly, all is not eliminated on ground, and neither has everyone put down their weapons. I'll take our experts on that very quickly. But yes, Aman, on the question that I was asking.
Well, absolutely, Shivani. See, Iran has been complaining, and now Oman is also complaining that what were these talks all about? You know, you're carrying on these talks to achieve a compromise, but clearly America had its own plans. Donald Trump has his own plans, and he has shown it by the way, the kind of the strike which has been carried out. You know, eliminating Khamenei is no small deal. You know, the kind of coordinated strike between US and Israel together to do this strike in the daylight. You know, take out Khamenei, take out his top commanders, take out his family, and of course there'll be a succession in place which the Iranians will try to prop up. But clearly, Iran has been dealt a very, very severe blow, and the retaliation it has done. We were all expecting that Iran would be attacking, you know, the US bases in the Middle Eastern countries, but I think it has done a complete faux pas by going after the civilian infrastructure, targeting the Abu Dhabi airport, targeting the Dubai airport, targeting the Palm Jumeirah, Al Burj Hotel. You know, when you target these civilian infrastructures, there is also a big concern among the Middle Eastern countries, and they are in a way coming together against Iran. Of course, India has its big concerns in the area as well. India, the big Middle Eastern population, Indian population in the Middle East. Mr. S. Jaishankar has been working the phones all night, calling up his counterparts in all these Middle Eastern countries, asking them to assure the safety of Indians here. You know, thousands of people are stuck at airports in the Middle East because all these airports, the busiest airports in the world, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, are shut. The Strait of Hormuz is also shut. That is also a ticking thing for India, because if it remains shut for the next few days, the price of oil could really rise. So I think India also has a lot to worry, and that is why you see Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar in an overdrive calling up all his counterparts in the Middle East, and also India has impressed upon Israel that there needs to be a de-escalation now.
Included in those counterparts was, of course, the Iranian foreign minister as well, with whom he had a conversation last evening. But I want to go to Major General Gigi Dwivedi with us. Former diplomat Prabhu Dayal is also joining us. Major General, can you put in context the IRGC for us? Can you explain to us how this, the Royal Guards function? What would their role be? How much in control would they be? Or as US is suggesting, they're all going to give up, and if they give up now, there will be immunity, otherwise there will be death. Just give us an insight into the IRGC.
Well, before I come to the question per se, I'd like just to give you a little backdrop as to how the military campaigns are planned and what are the aims and objectives. Every military campaign has two dimensions. One is the political dimension, one is the military dimension. Military dimension is easier to execute because these are very straight-cut, objectives and the plans. But the political objectives are always very complicated.
Yes.
Right now we are seeing the military dimension as a military. From the military perspective, they have achieved their first phase aim. They have eliminated the top leadership. They have hit the certain, defense installation, degrading the Iranian potential. But when it comes to the political dimension, that's a very difficult because it has a lot of complexity. Now, there are two issues to it. You see, in Iran, both the political and the military, they share power. After all, IRGC is I would say, the military wing of the clerics of the military wing of the dispensation. So therefore, they are quite deeply linked, and they are part of the running the country, part of the process, and executing the political aims and objectives. You see, in every military hierarchy, there's a very clear-cut, line of succession. Even in the lowest of units, you will have the people, one after another, who will take over. So IRGC succession is easier because it is well defined, and they have already, as you mentioned, that they have Brigadier General Ahmad Vahidi has been appointed. Now that is one part of it. But how the political succession is going to take place, that's very complex because there are two issues to it. One is internally driven. If they have the internally already chalked out who will be next or next, that is one. and external driven is how much work the CIA, the Mossad have done to penetrate the system of the Iranian system or the IRGC. Now that will be the second dimension. So we will have to see which way it goes, because either the internal succession will actually fructify, or the externally driven succession could also take place. Now that we have to wait and watch, because as I started with my first statement, that militarily the issues are very simple and straight cut, but when it comes to the political issues, they are very complex and they are very difficult to predict. Yeah.
Prabhu
Over to
Dayal,
you.
take forward from there, please. We do know that regime change was a stated objective, but I'm sure even the Israelis and the Americans know that just decapitating a regime like this is never going to be enough. So yes, Trump has asked for surrender of all supporters of Khomeini. Either you get immunity now or death later. But how do you see this panning out?
I see an escalation of the conflict. Of course, the talks which were being held were just a show. They were a facade. Because there was such a huge difference between the respective positions of the Americans